Hey guys, happy Sunday. John here with another beer review. Um, haven't uploaded lately because, yeah, been back in hospital, having some more treatment, and yeah, Jesus Christ, they're knocking me for six. So yeah, had a couple of days off doing reviews. Those of you that are friends with me on Facebook, I had a couple of Guinnesses on Friday night with my two boys. So yeah, that was it. And otherwise, I've just been in bed. So the one thing they said was, when you start feeling better, drink a lot. And I didn't ask whether they meant water or they meant beer. So I'm going to drink some beer today. And I'm going to do the first one from Manchester. I think it's the maybe first or second one from the Manchester box, the Beer 52 box, and it's a really good brewery, a fantastic brewery, because I decided to do one from Cloudwater Brewing. Weirdly, I don't know if you see that, it says established 2015, and for some weird reason, I thought that they were older than 8 years or 9 years, depending when it. Probably going to be 8 years. I thought they were well over 10 years old, but they do some fantastic beers, absolutely brilliant beers. And the article in the magazine was really good too, because it basically said that it came from another one of my favourite breweries, which is Marble. So he moved from Marble over to Cloudwater. Marble is one of my favourite breweries too. Anyway, never mind. We are doing this beer today. Fuzzy, or Fuzzy, Hazy Pale Ale from Cloudwater, obviously in Manchester, 4.2%. And if you're looking at this, it looks strangely kind of familiar-ish, but with a bit more floral notes and that kind of stuff. Fuzzy is a hazy pale ale, draws on 7 years of recipe development from Cloudwater. So it's one of the ones that they brew from early on and have dialed it in. It says thirst quenching, showcase the best of raw ingredients, etc., etc. Fuzzy has a soft mouthfeel, fruit forward and juicy with a peachy character. So we've got Citra, Simcoe, and Cascade, but it's New Zealand Cascade as opposed from normal Cascade, which I guess is Oregon or Washington State, one of those two. I think it's Oregon, but I could be wrong. My geography's not so good. And there it is, Fuzzy. And as I said, 4.2%. And yeah, I should have read the thing, 2015. It definitely says on there, but maybe I didn't know that. Mainly because it's hard to get Cloudwater beers in cans down here. Oh, the other thing to say is it's a 440 can, which is cool. Peachy, soft, and juicy. And if we have a look in here, what have we got? Does it say ingredients? Not really. Oh yeah, it does in the middle. Gluten, wheat, barley, oats. So we have got oats and wheat in there, which is cool. And that kind of weird sort of psychedelic. Looks like one of those lava lamps, doesn't it, sort of, when it's kind of warming up. Apart from the blue, not sure where the blue comes from, but I guess it's to offset all the orange. But I think this is going to be a sort of fruity one. So, I've had this in the fridge for 2 days. Ooh. And that, my friends, is why you do a pressure test. Look at that. I'd rather it do that for a while. I've literally just pulled the can back a tiny bit. Yeah, I'd rather that happen than it explode everywhere, which is cool. That's exactly why I do it. And I do that with bottles as well. Just open it a tiny bit and just watch to see how much of a crazy fizz it's going to do. And there we go. Because I did that, there is no spillage or leakage, which is cool. back with my tulip glass, because this is my staple glass. It really is. I do like branded glasses, and I've got quite a few, but I like this one because it doesn't have too much. You can see through there. Ooh, there's definitely some sort of fruit or something went through. Outrageous. We shall see what that was. Head-wise, well over a finger's head. And look at it. Lovely, lovely clouds, like fluffy white clouds. And can we see a bit of carbonation? We can, but not a massive amount. And if I look down the glass, are there any floaters? Doesn't look like there are. I thought I saw some sort of, look like orange puree or something, but just a tiny bit. But maybe that kind of got mixed up. And that's why, as you can see, it is definitely a hazy beer and no mistake. Let's go over here. Let's do one of these fuzzy. One of those type of things. You know how we roll. We'll try and do something. But yeah, as I say, ugh, not feeling the best at the moment. Anyway, life goes on until we die. So you've got to experience life, the good and the bad. I'm hoping this is good. That's why I chose this beer, because I thought it will be good. So I'm getting a bit of citrus on the nose. Bit of kind of pith. A bit of it smells, it has the aroma that it's going to be juicy, and that's what it says on the can too. But not much else. The aroma is fruity, like an orange or that kind of thing. Orange, peach, that sort of thing. Guys, cheers and beers. Wish me luck. Oh, wow. Wow. That's interesting. Not very bitter from the hops, but there's a kind of sharp bitterness. It's probably from the hops, but it tastes like it's not a hoppy bitterness. It's not an IBU bitterness. It's like a pithy bitterness, like a fruit rind, or if someone, yeah, put something like that in the back. So you've got that in the backbone, but then you're getting a really soft, kind of milkshake like mouthfeel. It's like, oh, it's really, really nice. Definitely milky. So this has probably got quite a lot of oats, quite a lot of wheat in there. And it's really goes down really smooth. Apart from that kind of thing in the background, which is that kind of rindy pithness, which comes from the hops. I'm not saying it doesn't, but it's not. It's not like an IBU real nutter bitterness. I don't think. No, they don't do an IBU statement on here. And at 4.2, you can drink a few of these. And the other thing is, I didn't make a massive deal out of it, but look, hazy pale. This is not a session IPA. This is just a pale ale. It's exactly what you want from a pale ale. Let's dive in for some more. Okay, interesting. Uh, the second mouthful. Now I'm getting some hops, which is usually the other way round. Usually, you get your first mouthful is the hoppiest, but I'm definitely getting the Citra coming through now. It's got, I think it was Citra, Simcoe, and Cascade, was it? Something like that. But yeah, I'm getting a lot more hoppiness on the second mouthful, which is weird. But maybe that little kind of piece of sediment that came through. Maybe it was a sort of concentrated hoppy type stuff, and maybe it's gone to the. There's nothing at the bottom. So yeah, unusual. Maybe this one's going to get stronger hop wise as we go to the bottom. Um, that one was a lot more juicy as well. Um, so as opposed to being sort of that milkshakey stuff, this is more like a sort of a fruit juice as opposed to a fruit smoothie. So the second mouthful definitely tasted different. Beers are wonderful because if you're trying something like this, especially with the new style beers, they taste different as you go down the glass. With an old pint of dishwater, a proper old English bitter, or an ESB or something like that, which I love because that's what I was brought up on. But you tend to find that it's very similar going down the glass, whereas something like this is different, and your senses go through a different experience each time. It's very, yeah, experiential. Okay, so the citrus is still there. Yeah, that softness, which I got in the first mouthful, has kind of gone now. Um, the hop bitterness has kind of started to creep in now, and it's definitely, I would say, from the citra because it's like a hedgerowy type thing, as opposed to the fruitiness. The fruitiness is there, mm, but like I said, in a more juicy type of way. So I'm not advocating shaking your beer before you pour it because it will explode all over your face. However, um, it might be good to lay your beer on the side, and then when you tip it up to open it, perhaps that will mean it kind of mixes it. I don't know what the solution is, especially for bottles and cans. For draft, I totally understand that things are going to, as the keg goes down, you're going to get things dropping out to the bottom, that type of stuff. But then you draw in a cask or on draft, you usually draw from the bottom, unless something's right on its side and you have a kind of tap that you've nailed in yourself. Um, very, very interesting. Beer and how things change over time. Crazy, even within a glass. Yeah, and that last mouthful was quite pithy, fruit pithy, quite juicy, still quite smooth, but I'm not getting that kind of milkshakey type thing anymore. The other thing to say is that was where the top of the beer was. First sip, second sip, third sip, fourth. The tide lines on the glass, which I know I harp on about it, dear viewer. I really do. But it's little things like that that I really, really do appreciate, um, especially with these kind of new style beers. It used to be things like that you'd only get from kind of stouts and porters, because they were the ones that used oats quite a bit to get that kind of creaminess, to get that thick taste, even though it might be quite a low. Actually, this one's only 4.2% on the ABV, so very similar to a Guinness. Actually, I found out the other day because I bought a 4 pack of the Guinness because they're quite cheap in the UK and good. Guinness is now down to 4.1% on the ABV. So it has dropped and dropped and dropped and dropped. I would not be surprised if we see it at 4 and then perhaps even under, which is crazy considering, people think of it as like a chewy kind of style beer, and it isn't at all. The other thing is, yeah, Guinness is healthier perhaps than other beers because it's got a low ABV. There's less calories in it, and because Oh, pardon me, because it's a dark beer, you've got lots of vitamins and minerals in there, especially B vitamins in Guinness, which is why they used to advertise it as being really good for you. But I just love Guinness. Anyway, I also like the Cloudwater Brewery. If you ever see this on tap, or if you ever see a Cloudwater beer on tap, my advice to you is definitely try it. Even if it's only a half, Cloudwater are doing some fantastic stuff at the moment. Really, really fantastic brewery. If you've listened this long into the video, I must be doing something right. So please click like and subscribe down below. If you're not one of my subscribers already, hey, what have you got to lose by clicking subscribe? Really small thing for you to do, but it really helps me out, especially because I'm trying to grow the channel back up to former states of glory. And I know a lot of that's to do with home brewing. And don't panic, I have been doing some home brewing, so there will be more home brewing content. But yes, this has been your loving Uncle Jonna on a Sunday. Hopefully, you guys have had a relaxing weekend, having a couple of beers, but not too many because we've got to go to work tomorrow. And guys, remember, drink some beer. It's good for you.